All right, Brandon Rhymes here in studio. Alex Lima, black belt fitness and martial arts. He is a champion. He's a self-defense expert. He's also producer of the Quarterback Show as well. Welcome back in, bud.
What's up, man? Make it sound like I've done some cool things.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Good stuff, man. So, yeah. So, what's new in your world? The self-defense world, personal training, martial arts. What are you seeing out there?
Yeah, the number one thing I'm seeing is New Year, new you, right? So everybody's the number one New Year's resolution on the planet is I'm gonna get in shape. I'm gonna finally do that thing that I've never been doing.
Right.
So I have this like massive influx of people reaching out to me to do train. It's to the point, and these are the kind of problems you want in life, obviously, but for your business and success, it's to the point where I have to turn people away. So I'm actually not saying, hey, I can't train you, go do whatever. I have a great relationship with other great, trainers and martial artists in the area. Yeah. So I'm kind of like, I'm passing them on, to stay within the network to be able to train. So it's really cool, because one thing is like, I got to eat, my family's got to eat first, but your circle and your people should be coming up as well. Right. Otherwise, why are you hanging out with them? You should all rise together. Right?
Yeah, and it all comes back to, at some point they'll refer people back and, how that goes, or somebody that may be more fit to work out in your level or your expertise. I love that, man. That's good stuff. I'd like to touch on some national news, and this was a big win for, you remember the movie 2,000 Mules, True the Vote? Catherine Engelbrecht is a patriot and a warrior, man. I talk about going to bat for the Georgia voters. She actually just filed a suit, and it was a 3-year fight that I'm going to play the clip here on True the Vote.
Catherine Engelbrecht has been at this a long time and fighting hard. Catherine, explain to me the importance of your amazing victory, because we were there when you were heading in. This thing looked like a long shot at one time, but you had the facts on your side, and we actually found a federal judge that agreed with facts. Talk to us about this massive victory for you and True the Vote down in Georgia.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me on to talk about it a little bit. It was, in fact, a massive victory and complete, total vindication of the work that we've been doing. So here's what happened. We sought to help Georgia citizens in the aftermath of 2020 and just before the runoff of 2021. We sought to help them get their voter rolls clean, because there was sadly a situation in Georgia. They hadn't cleaned their rolls in a couple of years, and it was a mess. So we found out about this. Georgia had a provision that allows for citizens to recognize and petition their counties to also recognize ineligible records in the voter rolls. And so this became a project. We made an announcement, and within the project, we had found over 364,000 ineligible records. And within just a few days, Mark Elias, who was at that point representing Stacey Abrams in Fair Fight, came down with the full weight and force of all that Elias can muster. There were dozens of attorneys. Ultimately, the Department of Justice got involved, and it was a 3-year slugfest, ending in a trial in the Northern District Federal Court in Georgia a couple months ago. So yesterday we got the decision that the judge found that we had done no wrong, that we had not violated the Voting Rights Act, that we were well within the.
So that's a huge win. 364,000 ineligible records. So in essence, those are the people that they were mailing the ballots to, and they were having those phantom votes coming in. And man, just a shout out to her team, True the Vote, Catherine Engelbrecht, for the victory in Georgia. And we just heard Bernie talk about how we had that similar problem in Florida, but that's all seems to be cleaned up. But that's a big deal, man.
It's a huge deal. I think we're kind of understating it. So my understanding is we actually became the United States when in 1776.
Yeah,
okay,
1776.
When we finally became like officially. So when that came to fruition, we created a voting process, right, and everything, right. So we started doing this a long time ago. We'll just say a long time ago, and we still don't have it like mapped out, figured out, foolproof. Right. To not have this fraudulent activity and to make sure things are being voted on and accordingly, because the entire inception, the whole process, everything that we have built this country upon, they're messing that first part up. That's massive. And I truly believe in this old Buddhist proverb that says how you do one thing is how you do everything. Right. So if they're messing that up, which is so foundational, imagine what else is being screwed with and messed up down the road. And that's something like you got to have this down by now.
Yeah, and Mike Lindell's he's the tip of the spear when it comes to the voting machines, because there's still a lot of malfeasance there, and I think that was an inside job with Fox agreeing to pay or settling with Dominion, but who knows? Above my pay grade. But when you think about self-defense, man, I think people significantly underestimate what they need to have, what they need to be thinking about, the awareness that they need to have. And again, it's going into this election year, what are some of the common quick tips that you could give folks?
I think everybody, for like the lay person that has never trained before, for whatever reason doesn't like put a level of priority importance upon it, go try a class. If you think you're all good and you don't need to know any self-defense, go try a session at a legit place. See how well you do against people that are trained or have at least some level of training, right? A prime example, I guess what I'm trying to get to is that you need to recognize that you don't know. You don't know as much as, trust me, you do not know, right? Great example of this is last night, speaking about those New Year's resolutions, right? I had a kid finally, he's been for like 2 years. His parents have been trying, 16-year-old, trying to get him to train with me, set up like a private lesson or whatever. For 2 years, there's been some back and forth about it. And I said, look, it's finally whatever. They magically appeared yesterday to get some training in with me, right? Instantly, and the kid had some boxing experience at this point too. So he thought, had a little bit of hands or whatever, right? Immediately after the training session, so only had spent 1 hour on the mat.
Yeah.
Okay. In 16 years of life, and was like, yeah, I didn't realize how much I didn't know.
Wow. Yeah.
That to me is a green light that kid's going to stick with it because he realizes he is lacking in a skill set that he deems important. Yeah. And that's what you have to do. You have to realize that this is a skill set that you need to deem as important and priority. Yep. And then you need to find out how to get it in your life.
Yeah, as opposed to the opposite mindset of, oh, well, I already know that. I probably already know what that's the exact wrong mindset to have in anything, self-defense, real estate. When you have someone like that, you want that person that's coachable, that recognizes like, hey, man, there's room for improvement. Or as he said, classic words, man, I thought I knew more, or there's a lot to know. Yeah. Because someone like you've probably forgotten more than most people know, right?
Dude, I often do, man. It's funny. I think about it. Sometimes I'll be training and like my people will ask me a question and I'll be like, I've taken it for granted. I haven't thought about that in years, or I've never thought about it because I've been doing this for so long.
Yeah. Where do you want people to check you out at?
Always on the socials is good, at BlackBelt_fitness. You can always check out the show website as well, consumerqb.com.
All right, good stuff. Coming back, Logan Briggs, Gulf Shield Roofing in the house. Logan Briggs in the house. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com. Check us out online. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com. Brandon Rhymes Realty. We'll be right back.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.